We're going to talk today about point load test, which we're going to conduct on rock core samples. This is an indirect test. So what this thing means is that you are converting, just one type of failure into another type of failure. In this case, we're going to obtain uniaxial compressive strength of rock. The advantage of this test over, this direct test, where we're obtaining the same uniaxial strength of rock sample, is that in this particular case we're going to use, a portable equipment which can be easily used in the field. We're going to start this test by picking, one of the samples, from rock core, and we're going to do diametral test. So in this case, we're going to apply the load, which is going to be perpendicular to the axis of rock core. In this particular test, the only requirement, for rock sample is going to be that the length of the sample has to be, more than 1.4 times the diameter of the sample. First thing which we're going to do is we're going to examine the sample. We're going to make sure that it doesn't have any pre-existing flaws. Usually I spray water, over the sample, and this thing allows me to find, if we don't have, any pre-existing fractures or flaws in the sample. So we're satisfied that we don't have, any pre-existing fractures or flaws. We're going to measure the diameter of the sample. So the diameter of this sample is 30.57 millimeters. Then we're going to make sure that we have intact length of the sample at least 1.4 times of the diameter. So in this particular case, we have roughly 2 times length of intact piece of sample. So in the next step, make sure that we're going to reset, hydraulic reading gauge on our point loader. And in the next step, we're going to close hydraulic valve here. So in the next point, we're going to advance the conical contact point samples, on the point loader. So they're in the direct contact with our rock sample. So once the sample is seated in the point loader, we're going to install a cover. So in this step, we're going to apply pressure on the sample. We're going to apply load on the sample till the sample is going to fail. So I'm going to hold with my left hand the frame of the point loader, so it's not going to tip over. And my right hand, I'm going to apply pressure on the sample. This step, we're going to apply load on the sample till the sample is going to fail. maximum pressure which was obtained during the test is 7.2 megapascals. Now this pressure is going to be used first of all, just to calculate failure load on the sample, and then we're going to calculate point load index, and from point load index we're going to convert just this value to the uniaxial compressive strength of the sample.